right, hello everybody. With over a decade of experience in B2B sales, so whether that's leading large sales teams or being an individual contributor, I always struggle to personalize cold emails at scale so that it's uniquely personalized to every single recipient. So what ends up happening is send a bunch of templates. A lot of these templates end up in spam, and hence you end up hiring a lot of people to attain your target. So we want to solve that, and we brought to market Salesforge earlier this year that allows you to see a drastic improvement through programmatic sequencing. So the problem that you're seeing there is we're seeing an open rate increase from 30 to about 60%, so double the more eyeballs on your emails when you send them out. And we're also able to drastically improve the reply rate by sending unique emails and doing that with the one single sales rep instead of, say, 10. So the way we do that is we're essentially getting contacts, whether that's from a database, a CRM, or any other place. Then in order to boost the email deliverability, a single sales rep leverages multiple inboxes, does inbox rotation, does email warm-up to do that, email validation, and many other features. Then on the AI side, we're matching the seller data, what is it that you sell, with the buyer data, what do we know about the buyer from LinkedIn, websites, and many other sources. And then off we go with a single click solution. You can personalize infinity number of emails at any scale in any language. In terms of the future or the defense, what we're doing actually is we're building a data layer behind the scenes where we're going to be clustering companies that exhibit similar traits. And we're going to be leveraging Gen AI models, ML models on top of that to push the prediction and Gen AI data back into email. Whether we're going to do that across email, dialer, or LinkedIn. The market is humongous, as you can imagine. There's a lot of players in the space. But we're targeting EMEA and the US, 5% sum at 450 mil. In terms of the competitive landscape, we have in the top left quadrant companies that specialize in writing low volume of highly personalized emails, like Reggie, Lavender, Luna. And in the bottom right quadrant, you've got companies that send a large volume of templated emails, like Instantly and Smartly. And then we're essentially bridging the gap where we are essentially programmatic computing unique emails at scale. In terms of the go-to-market standpoint, we're targeting smaller companies 1 to 50. So we're going after the SMB segment, where we have a mix of SLG and a PLG motion, so sales-led motion and product-led motion. And our key differentiation is that we enable to have unlimited users and unlimited mailboxes within the software, where the incumbents charge per mailbox or per user. So it also massively disrupts the unit economics. From a traction standpoint, we've been growing really well. We only launched in June. We're currently at over 5K MRR with over 50 clients. Our largest paying client is $476 with an ARPA of over $100. From a team standpoint, very strong team. Myself, I've been in B2B sales, Frank Saunders, over a decade, like I mentioned to you. And then we have very two smart engineers, Daniel and David. And we're raising our 500K run.
So much. Time is over.
Thank you.
Big round of applause for Salesforge, and now let's hear the Q&A from the judges.
The generative AI is proprietary, or you're using ChatGPT or an open source LLM?
We use GPT 3.5, 4, and Claude.
Perfect, yeah.
So we use multiple models to maximize the output and efficiencies.
Yeah, thanks.
In terms of the AI components on the customer side, there is, I suppose, some sort of manual validation of the emails, right?
Yes, we validate email addresses ourselves. So a customer uploads a list.
Yeah.
We ping every mailbox to see whether we can deliver an email or not to help with email deliverability, because high bounce rate means higher spam rate.
Okay.
I always say never use dirty lists.
And the generated text is, I mean, does it have errors or sometimes hallucinations, you know?
The text that we generate actually performs better than a human would write, because humans are not copywriters. And a lot of humans in sales, let's say Romania, don't speak native English. So that's also one of the dilemmas. AI, if you pass the right input data, so the seller data, what is it that I sell, and then what do we know about the buyer, all we do on our end is fine-tuning the engineering piece for every single interaction and maximize the replies.
Okay, thanks.
So, yeah.
What kind of channels are you targeting, and how you plan to reach the SMBs? That seems to be your main target customer base.
Good question. So our current CAC is about $200. Our LTV predicted is about 1.2K. Predominantly we dog fooding, meaning leveraging our own software to reach out to the users. Currently we use naturally email, so we're showcasing naturally our capabilities. And then later on we're also going to unlock LinkedIn and a dialer. So we're going to use our own platform where we're going to drive 70 to 80% of the ACV, so annual contract value, using our own software.
So what were your KPIs of success with your own platform up to now?
KPIs?
Success KPIs of selling your solution with your own platform up to now.
So we're seeing at least a 2x relative lift to using templates. So if you use a template and let's say your typical reply rate is 2%, we would see at least a 2x increase from using templates. So we're seeing quite a good conversion rates there. But to answer in practical terms, I have 40 to 60 meetings every week. That means I'm able to generate quite a humongous pipeline for Salesforge.
The numbers that you showed us in terms of, uplift in conversion and increase in deliverability and this and that, are these factual numbers from the initial customers that you're seeing, or is that to some extent sort of expectations?
So we've been running large-scale tests when we were launching Salesforge. So when we were running a side-by-side test, we're trying to see what's the lift of using one approach to another and what's the uplift. But typically, because every client sells their own software, they're in a different market, etc., we look at the relative lifts. So for example, if your, as I said, open rate is a benchmark of 30%, we would expect to see a range of 50 to 90%, that's the range. But we're targeting about 60% on open rate. And then whatever your reply rate right now is with any of the competitors right now, we're targeting a 2x relative lift. So as I mentioned, like 2%, we're targeting 4%. Think of it even theoretically. I have 100 people I want to reach out to. I'm going to send a template to all those 100 people right now. This is the communication today, all templated. And then imagine if I'm going to send a unique email to each and one of them. You would, of course, see a lift.
What kind of user engagement are you seeing in these early customers?
From onboarding standpoint?
Yeah, from like when you onboard them, they start using the platform.
Sure.
Yeah, what are you monitoring and what are you seeing in terms of engagement?
So what we're monitoring is whether a user connects their mailbox, super important, because what we need to do is we need to improve their email deliverability from day zero. And to do that, it takes 2 weeks. We call that the warm-up phase. You connect your accounts, and for 2 weeks, we're boosting your domain reputation. And then on week 3, we're ready to go. We can launch our first campaign. So that's what we're monitoring. Whether the warm-up has started, we launch our first ever campaign, and then we're checking in typically with the clients. We're checking typically with the clients from then on.
So far, what have you seen? Basically, how many clients have successfully launched their first campaign from the ones that you onboarded?
So about 80+% within 4 weeks have launched a first campaign.
Are you expecting at some point any trouble because of the name?
No, we're actually in touch with Salesforce. They find it funny. But our exit strategy is to sell to Salesforce, best case. Because we believe Salesforce needs us. So I'm a big fan of Salesforce. I'm ambassador actually for Salesforce. And Salesforce was always missing a platform like Salesforge. So we're actually building the platform for Salesforce.
Time is over, judges.
Thank
Big
you.
round of applause for Salesforge.